Okay, everybody, so this is a follow-up video to the last one I made. I'm making it a little bit later than I originally intended, but I've just been so preoccupied with work and everything that I just haven't had the time. So, but now I'm here, I'm going to give a follow-up video for you. So for those of you who don't know, I'll give you a little recap. Back in 2018, I was going to get my parking brake worked on. Turned out the cable was stretched and I didn't really feel like replacing it, so I just kind of let it go, and I was lucky. I was able to park on flat surfaces from all that time until now, amazingly. And then earlier this year, I wanted to, he's like, you know what, just for safety reasons, let me just get that cable replaced and this and that. So I take it to the service place. They say it's not the cable, it's the rear calipers, which was weird to me. But they replaced the calipers, and it didn't fix the problem, and then that was the last video that we left off. All right, so where we last left off here was I brought the car in this time to get those calipers done again because they claimed they weren't working properly. And they weren't going to charge me because I already paid for the new calipers beforehand, rear calipers, by the way, I should say. And so they go ahead and I drop the car off in the morning. They work on the calipers, put the new ones on, reattach everything. All right, and then this is the best part. So the guy pulls up the handle, the parking brake handle right here, to test the brakes, and guess what? Remember the cable? It snaps. That's right. The part of the part of the emergency brake I told them was the worst. No, I'm sorry. Was the actual part that was causing the problem actually broke as they worked on it? That was just too funny. The fact that I told them, hey, I need a new cable, and they say, no, it's the calipers. I get new calipers, the brake still doesn't work. He tries to test it again with the second pair of calipers, and the cable snaps on them. It's like, gee, you know, maybe you should consider the fact that the person who drives the car just about every day probably knows what's wrong with it, and let alone the fact that a previous service place had told them what the problem was. So, I mean, that was just too funny. But the good news was, even though I had to get a new cable because of that, they didn't charge me for that cable at all, to their credit. I didn't fight with them, nothing. They just said right off the bat, we're not going to charge you for this. I know you've put in all this money for this part that didn't work. It's on us. And, you know, I will give them tons of credit for that they didn't even think of charging me for the cable. I will definitely give them credit for that. And it worked out in the sense that that week that they were going to do the cable, I was on vacation from work, so it couldn't have been better timing, which is pretty awesome how that worked out properly. But, you know, I just got to state, like, I understand that, speaking for myself, I don't work on cars for a living. You know, I don't do half the stuff that these mechanics or technicians do every single day. I totally get that. But, you know, sometimes you got to consider that the person that's giving you the car, they drive the car all the time, so they probably have a good idea of what the problem is. Now, I mean, granted, there's tons of people out there who, you know, don't take care of their cars at all and shouldn't be on the road. I get that. But there's also people who, again, take care of their cars and, you know what the problem is. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't look over the car to confirm what the customer is saying. Not at all. They should do that. But then, you know, they should be along the lines of, yeah, this guy's right. This is the problem. Let's call him up and see if we can get it fixed for it. So, you know, all in all, the parking brake is fixed now. After 5 years, I have a working parking brake again, which is nice. And, you know, just I will give them credit where credit is due, that they didn't charge me for it. They put a new cable on, but it's like, you know, come on, guys. Just sometimes you really got to listen to what the customer is saying sometimes. You know, because, again, I don't mean to repeat myself here, but they drive the car the most. They probably have an idea. But let me just go ahead and show you that the brake is indeed working this time. So what we'll do is I got the key in, so we'll start up the car. Yeah, the engine was just running, that's why it started up very quickly. And, oh yeah, actually the radiator fan's running, so that tells you it's all nice and warmed up. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so what we'll do is, let's go ahead and we'll pull up on the handle. You can see the light comes on, and it feels very, much more firm, or tight, I guess you could say. So, handle's up. Let's go ahead and put the transmission into reverse. Alright, just engaged. Now we'll go ahead and we'll take our foot off the brake. Look at that. Car is not moving one bit compared to last time. So, that's just awesome. So, yeah, so transmission is in reverse. Parking brake, regular brake is off. Parking brake is on, and the car is not moving. Absolutely beautiful. Just to test, we'll go ahead and let's go on the regular brake. We'll put the car into drive. Okay. And then take the foot off the brake. Once it grabbed onto the forward motion, that's it. Car is not moving one bit. And that's great. So once again, after 5 years, finally have a working parking brake again. I am very happy about that. And all right, we can go ahead and turn this off now. So yeah, so there's your story, guys. You know, I brought the car to a place for what I thought was the problem, and it turns out it was the problem. So sometimes I just gotta laugh when that happens, you know. But anyway, long story short, I won't repeat myself. You got the main idea. Parking brake is fixed. Have a working parking brake again after 5 years, and couldn't be happier. And I'm glad I got the part replaced that needed to be replaced, and all is well. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.